Welcome to the Two Big Guys radio talk show between country music artist Glenn Cummings and Pastor Kenneth Farnsworth. Cutting Edge Radio. Welcome everybody to the radio show today. We have a special guest. This is Mr. Big, Glenn Cummings.
Our first guest.
And of course we have Mr. Number Big 2, Mr. Pastor Kenneth Farnsworth here with us today. And who do we have here with us today, Pastor?
Today we have an associate of mine, my partner in crime, Pastor Daniel Braumeyer. But you know, there's something unusual about him.
What is it?
Well, you know that gecko on that TV commercial?
Oh, you mean that crazy little gecko that says all the crazy stuff and speaks? What does he speak?
Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Australian or English, but he sounds just like him.
No, I do not.
Yeah, it's the German with the English accent.
No, I do not.
And Pastor, why don't you tell us why you're German, but you have an English accent?
I'm full-blooded American German, but I do not have an English accent, as some people think I do. But I grew up in England, and then I moved to this country a long time ago.
Sounds like the gecko to me.
Yes,
not to me.
And nobody knows what country the gecko's from, you know.
Really?
No. He always goes to tell, and they cut it out. And same thing with Pastor. Pastor actually sounds like some of the students we had at the seminary when I was there. They were from Australia.
No, I'm not from Australia.
Yeah, but you sound like them.
No.
Until he gets around. We have a lot of English people in the congregation, or a lot of English people actually here in Florida. When he gets around them, you can't understand a word he's saying. So, yeah. So
I love it when he pulls out. You know, a lot of times when we're in church, he'll, invite all the kids up. And he'll pull out tell us about the little...
my puppet?
Your puppet. Tell us about the puppet.
He's scruffy. He's my right-hand dog, I'll tell you. And he's definitely a dog. Everybody wants to call him a puppet, but he's a dog. He's definitely a dog.
I mean, he looks like he's been around the block there.
He's about 14, 15 years old. I've been using him for about that much time. He loves to tell stories about Jesus.
Yeah.
He's got a long history to him. And his ancestry goes back to Noah. On the ark, he remembers actually his great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather or somebody that was out in the fields with the angels, with the shepherds and the angels when Jesus was born. Got a great lineage there.
So your puppet is so old it goes back to Jesus' days?
He's not so old, but his ancestry goes back. He's definitely got an ancestry that goes back all that way. I mean.
Hey, Glenn, our topic today is a special topic, and I thought to introduce it. Why don't you use that one song from your album?
Oh, If I Was an Angel?
Yep.
Okay, well, let me pull in here and I'll get it for you guys. If I could prove to you how I feel, then I would. All I can give is my love, and to me that don't seem quite enough. How does the desert explain how it feels when it finally rains? It has to feel just like I felt the moment I saw your face. And I'd bless that day, oh, if I was an angel. If I was an angel. Oh, if I was an angel in heaven above, I would give up my wings in exchange for your love. And I'd take a tumble from out of the blue, girl. If I was an angel, I'd fall for you, fall for you. Cause I'm just a man with his heart in your hands. I'm helpless to take on the world, but I try, even die for you, girl. And if that's the way that it goes, then I'll spend my afterlife finding my way to you. Baby, I'll travel through space and time and And I'd cross that line even if I was an angel. Hey, if I was an angel. Oh, if I was an angel in heaven above, I would give up my wings in exchange for your love. And I'd take a tumble from out of the blue, girl. If I was an angel, I'd fall for you, fall for you, fall for you.
Glenn, the reason I had you play that song is because it really brings the topic up of angels and all the misconceptions that are out there. Now, your song isn't theologically incorrect because you said if I was an angel, but there is this idea that we turn into angels. And I asked Pastor Braumeyer to come here with this topic because he did a sermon last year that just hit the nail on the head. In fact, Pastor, my wife was in that sermon, wasn't she?
She was, and she didn't like my sermon at all because she has all these things about angels around the house, I guess.
Well, she is an angel. I mean, what are we talking about here? She knows that she's an angel. I mean, so you told her that she wasn't an angel, and I'd be upset too.
Well, as a figure of speech, she is an angel, but not when we talk about
Sure
biblical
about
angels. And she's, I was going to bring the creepy one here. And she's got one creepy angel that when I walk around the house at night, just creeps me out. It's got that fiber optic light going through the wings, and it moves its wings back and forth. Yeah, very creepy. But so we tease her about being part of the angel cult that's out there. But Pastor, why don't you talk about some of the things you had in your sermon there last year that did an excellent job on it, by the way. Some of the teachings on angels and the misconceptions of angels.
Well, I guess the first thing to really talk about is the whole idea of angels with wings. And if we really look at the Bible properly, and you take the Bible right from the beginning, the general idea is when angels appear to human beings, they don't have wings. That's the problem that many people get into. They think that when angels appear to people here as messengers, that they have wings. But if you go right from the beginning, from Genesis, the three men show up to talk to Abraham and tell him he's going to have a child by Sarah. Definitely two of those are angels, but they don't have wings.
So there are angels, they just don't have wings.
When they appear to human beings as messengers. That's the general rule of thumb in the Bible. And especially when you get into, also you fast forward to, say, Joshua, when the angel of the Lord shows up to Joshua, didn't have wings. Then also when you get into Gideon in Judges, old man shows up to Gideon, and we know he's an angel, but doesn't have wings. And as you go through all these instances in the Bible, it shows that when angels appear as God's messengers to people, they generally don't have wings.
So here's the thing. What I really like about what you're saying right now is that's everything I've said in my song, Pastor.
Yeah, it was.
Because listen, if I was an angel, I'd fall for you because I don't have wings.
There you go.
So basically, I mean, that's where we're going here. Let's get right to the subject. So, it was right. If we don't have wings, we're going to fall. I'm going to fall and crash because I don't have wings. And I especially don't have ones with LED lights and everything else.
Right. Well, let me point something out here because certainly you're not going to have any questions out there for Glenn on angels. But if you do have questions for Pastor on angels, you can go to facebook.com/2 big guys, and you can make any comments there, and we'll certainly try to answer them for you in the next show.
And the other thing I have to bring up, though, is that now that I've said that, I have to qualify it a little bit, because the thing is that when angels appear to human beings in the Bible, they generally appear without wings. But angels do have wings.
Oh.
You see, angels do have wings. Now,
Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. Whenever actually somebody in the Bible had a vision of angels in heaven, they have wings. Now, again, they don't just have two wings, like in Isaiah chapter 6. You have cherubim, you have seraphim, those are angels, and the seraphim actually have 6 wings, 2 to cover their upper bodies and face, 2 to cover their bodies, and 2 to cover their legs and feet. So angels do have wings in visions, so you have to qualify it a little bit.
But Pastor, what gave us the idea today of how angels are depicted? I mean, I took a little video of the angels my wife had before I came over. I was going to show it to us for inspiration. But that picture of angels, human faces, just two wings, where does that come from?
It comes from popular artwork. Over the years, artwork has really given us the idea. People painting pictures of angels the way they think they should be. You know, the popular idea, as you said. Little baby-faced kids with two little wings on their backs.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come up. It's not in the Bible. So, I mean, it really comes from artwork. And that's what it comes from. As people over the years have drawn figures of angels, they've come up with these ideas.
The difficult thing we have as pastors, and Pastor B can feel the same way. Oftentimes, I've had one of the difficult things we do is when we have to do funerals for little babies. And this is where it always comes up. And it's hard to deal with people because I always hear, well, he or she is an angel now in heaven. And, you don't want to pop that balloon when people are emotional, but that's really not the case.
No, it isn't. And, angels and human beings are separate creations of God. Angels are what we say are the most, how should we say, as we say it, the foremost invisible creation of God. We're the foremost visible creation of God. So we can be seen by others. Angels can't necessarily be seen all the time. Again, they're only seen when they're sent as messengers from God. And again, emphasize, as they come from as messengers from God, they don't have the wings thing.
I guarantee you that no one out there that's done a radio show has talked about this. I'm telling you, I mean, this is really interesting information. It's interesting.
Right,
really
and
interesting.
The other thing you also got to look at is fast forward a little bit, again, to the resurrection of Jesus. And when, the ladies went to the tomb, the guy, and they all show up at the tomb. When they show up at the tomb, who's at the tomb to talk to them? Two men dressed in white. And then at the ascension of Jesus in Acts, who shows up? Two men dressed in white. We know they're angels. I didn't say anything about them having wings.
Wow.
So there's a little personification of the angels there.
Well, here's the thing. I'm upset because last year.
Oh, did I upset you, Glenn?
Yeah. I mean, I'm disturbed. Last year Paula bought some beautiful angels with these beautiful wings. We put them downstairs. All our Christmas stuff, which is coming up in the next couple months here. What am I going to do with them? I mean,
well, I think you can use them. You just have to go out and add more wings.
Add more wings.
Yeah, add a couple more sets of wings.
I don't know if Paula and Tammy would like that if we did that to their angels, but
or clip the wings and put them in white and make sure they're men, right?
Yeah, and they usually show up as men. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Glenn and I have been married 32 years. I just wouldn't do anything.
Yeah,
whatever they say, we do. We put it out for them, and I got a question for you, Pastor B. Coming up on Christmas here, what are some of your most memorable things that you've been able to do as a pastor? Giving, being a part of a foundation, being a part of a kid's life. What are some of the most memorable things that you've done during the Christmas time? Because you guys really have a unique job. I mean, you can comfort people. You can make people feel good. You can tell people what they need to do to straighten out their lives, and people will listen to you guys. I mean, they really do. When a pastor is speaking, people listen. So what are some of the things that you've done, most memorable things you've done during Christmas?
Oh, I have to go back to what I said before, and I get my puppet out. Oh, I called him a puppet. I haven't made the mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, no. When I get Scruffy out, when I get him out, and I get to tell the kids, he gets to tell the kids the story of Christmas and really what it's all about, what it means for kids, and who Jesus really is, what he's all about, his coming into this world. That's probably the best opportunity I get at Christmas time, because I get a lot of kids coming at Christmas time as well to church. It's really good. It's a great opportunity as well.
And the thing is that we as adults listen to Scruffy too. Believe it or not, I mean, we really do, because
it's kind of disconcerting when the adults like Scruffy more than the kids. I mean, come on. My name's not Jeff Dunham, you know. I'm not really.
Pastor goes through little times where he won't bring Scruffy out, and it creates a little aura because people want to ask for him. It's not the kids that ask for Scruffy.
Oh, it's
always the adults.
It's always the adults. The adults want to hear about Scruffy. Now, at Christmas time, Pastor, I think Scruffy's referred to, too, when the angels have appeared to the shepherds. But there's other angels, too, special angels. You remember Donald Defner, one of our professors?
Yeah, right.
The late Donald Defner, a good friend of mine. I used to smoke cigars with him.
You smoke cigars?
Yeah.
He still does sometimes.
Pastor of a church smoking cigars?
Don't tell Tammy.
I'm enjoying God's creation in moderation.
Okay. Cigars. Wow. So we just...
Well, Dr. Defner was a big smoker of cigars. He probably smoked them more than I did. But one thing Donald Defner, I don't know if you have ever had him for class, where he's talked about his guardian angel. And he had some weird name for it. And it wasn't a biblical name. I think he got it from like Star Trek or something. Uh-oh. But can you say a little bit about guardian angels?
Well, actually, in the text a couple of weeks ago, Jesus did talk about children and the angels that guard them. It would seem, my general response to that when people ask me about guardian angels, do I actually have a guardian angel? So I say, well, you might have one. You might have a guardian angel, but then again, you might have a lot of them because it really depends. It just depends on what your situation is, and it could be that God wants you to have a lot more guardian angels than just one.
Mm-hmm. So this is the 9 lives scenario, pretty much. I mean, if you have a lot of guardian angels and you've been close to getting yourself into trouble, that means you must have a lot of guardian angels looking out for you.
Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah. How many close calls have all of us had in our lives? Just driving down the road, or I've had more close calls. My close calls are riding ATVs in the forest in the middle of the night. Going 80 mile an hour down a trail, and there's a tree that had fallen because of a storm the night before, or hitting a deer going 80 mile an hour and flying off the four-wheeler and landing in the dirt and getting up, smiling, and hopping back on and riding again. Too many close calls doing that. But tell me some of the close calls you guys have had. Some things, a lot of times people sometimes, about 2 or 3 months back, I had the flu virus, the stomach flu, sick, just really, really sick, throwing up, the whole deal. And I prayed to God more than I've ever prayed. God, please help me. I mean, I was sick. I felt horrible. I was shaking continuously. What are some of the moments that have brought you guys humble humility to just say, gosh, I really should pray? I mean, a lot of people, they pray in the worst times. Why don't they pray all the time? Why don't they ask for forgiveness? Why do they always wait till they hit this rock bottom? I mean, can you guys explain that to me?
Well, usually when you have to get that low. Yeah. I mean, sometimes. Pain can make us do a whole lot of stuff. I mean.
Yeah, I think this is one of the things, the fallacies of Christianity today, that everything's just hunky-dory for Christians, And if you're a Christian and if you're giving God or obeying Him properly, everything's going to be fine for you. But really, the Scriptures teach something else. And, Pastor, I was talking to you a couple of months ago about Dr. Scayer's understanding of Jesus as example, being really the theology of the cross. And 1 Peter chapter 1 really deals with this. He talks about our baptism. He talks about the promise of heaven we have. He talks about the 3 big things: war, false teaching, and our just fading away, our dying, that those things are not affected. Our heavenly home is not affected by those things. But then he says this: in this you rejoice, though now for a little while you may have to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that your faith, which is more precious than gold, may be proved genuine. And the fact of the matter is as trials come, as those rough times come, we do pray more. 9/11. What happened after 9/11?
Oh,
Church was full that night, and we had no announcement of a service. And we had a service that night, and the church was full. And for the weeks after. Why? Because as those rough things come, we see we can't depend on ourselves, and we have to depend on God, and I think we see that in our ministry all the time.
Yeah, when you take that Peter passage right there, it's interesting that Peter used some special words there, to be tested and to be refined. When gold goes through a refining process, it actually gets refined at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which kind of can give you an idea that, we do go through things to bring us closer to our Savior God, who we have to realize that we need. Like you said, in 9/11, people realized that they couldn't depend on themselves, and they needed somebody to take care of them, a Savior. It's just like St. Paul in 2 Corinthians 12. He had so many great revelations, and then all of a sudden he talks about getting his thorn in the flesh. And he prays to God, take it away, take it away, take it away. What does Jesus say to him? He says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Again, when it says sufficient right there, it means it's not going to be too much for you, and it's not going to be too little for you. It is going to be what you need.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah, I think oftentimes when people struggle with the troubles of this world, they go all different places. I think after 9/11, we've seen some good things. People did come to church, but I also saw some bad things. There was a rise in what was called spirituality, and some of that spirituality didn't go the right way. I think when you see these things coming, you have an acknowledgement of God, but what brings us to that acknowledgement? It's our worry. What's worry? Worry is unbelief. We think we can handle everything. We think we have control of our lives. And when an event like that comes, we start to worry because we finally realize that we can't do it. But then we have this influx of people coming to church during times of tragedy like that because they realize, they don't have power over these things.
Yeah, I think when it comes right down to it, people begin to realize, well, that could have been me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you talk to a lot of people too, and there's people that know someone or know someone whose relative died in 9/11, whatever place it was, the three places what happened. And so that personal connection is there, just like we talked about in our first show with the funeral and the people laying in the casket. It makes it personal to you, as we talked about law and gospel. It becomes law to you. Death is real. Mm-hmm. We go out and try to have fun, especially in the Tampa area here. We have every reason for a party here, Gasparilla, everything else.
Sure.
But
I do most of those shows as well.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I'm a part of the fun for everyone.
Yeah, and I was
just Glenn's fun.
No, because I was thinking about our first show where we were talking about your cussing and stuff, and it made me think of that.
I'm a lot better though. You remember I used to be pretty bad. I mean, I'm a lot better. My language is better.
Only by the grace of God.
There we go. That's what I say every day. Yeah. And the grace of my wife giving me those looks when I say bad words.
You threw me off because I was thinking about your filthy mouth.
Right. I'll get you back on track. All right. 15 minutes could save you a lot on something, but 5 minutes with me, I'll get you back on track.
Oh.
There you go.
There's that gecko again.
Yeah, you see.
You were talking about basically everyone always wants to have a good time. Gasparilla.
Yeah. The goal of life is to have fun, but the trouble with that is when the goal of life is just having fun, we forget that there's really only two things we need to deal with: life and death. I think, Pastor, you find that to be true too. He asked me last time about funerals and weddings, what I like to do better, and I think maybe you have the same answer.
I would tell you this. I know this may sound strange to many people, but I much prefer to do funerals because it gives me an opportunity to really proclaim what the gospel is really all about, and the fact that the person who we know died in faith in Jesus Christ, and we know exactly where they're at. Weddings they can get a little bit funny sometimes. I mean, because what do you have to deal with? Well, you have to deal with people who are of course, living, and you have to deal with the mother of the bride and what the bride wants and what everybody wants. And again, sometimes people think that, hey, we're here to have a big party and not focus on what they're really there for.
Glenn, do you notice the careful talk here?
Yeah.
We don't talk about weddings we do in this parish, but we talk about weddings we've done in past parishes.
All the
time.
Much
safer that way.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I've really, we're pretty much at our limit here. Have enjoyed this once again. Pastor Bronsmeyer, thank you so much. Pastor Farnsworth, Mr. Big number 2, and Glenn Cummings, Mr. Big number 1. We've really, really enjoyed doing this, and like I said, we're going to continue to do this on a weekly basis and have future guests in. And
I just need to interrupt there,
please,
though, Glenn.
go ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead.
You two guys are big. I'm not big.
Well, so did you hear what I said? I said Pastor Bronsmeyer and Mr. Big number 2 and Mr. Big number 1. We're the bigs. You're the, But your son is big.
Doesn't mean I'm little. But
let's talk about your son here really quick before
my
we
son,
end this.
yeah. George, he's big. Yeah, right.
His son makes me and Pastor look like shrimps. His son is 6'10", almost 6'11".
Yeah, 6'10" right now. Mm-hmm.
6'10". He literally has to duck through every single door he walks in. Just got accepted to a college. Very, very talented basketball player. Got his head on straight. All A's in school. And as a matter of fact, he comes over and helps tutor my wife through some of the college she's doing. And it's kind of funny, having him walk into the house and duck. And most people aren't bigger than me, So when I look up, I literally look up. I look up at him, and his wingspan is like, I don't know, 8.5 feet. Like when he lifts his arms up in the air.
Yeah, he's a tall kid.
More than 8.5 feet. Probably, literally, it's way up there. Yeah.
And his brother's actually taller than me right now. Charlie's just gotten a lot taller than me. And Annie, his little sister, she's really getting. She's 9 right now, and she's
9.
She's 9, and she's actually one of the tallest in 4th grade up at Immanuel right now. Wow. So she's, yeah.
Well, let me plug also my wife, Paula, and my 2 daughters, Lexi and Savannah. Last time we kind of got onto the subject of Pastor and his family. I didn't get to bring up mine, and my wife heard that and yelled at me a little. No, of course not. Right. Mm-hmm. So, but I have a beautiful wife, most magnificent woman in the world of Arkansas, and and 2 beautiful daughters. Okay, so another thing, real quick too, that I don't know if I've ever told you guys this was, my mom was a nun in the convent.
I think you mentioned that once before.
My mom was a nun in the convent.
Yeah.
So that's just to mention that, and we'll maybe bring that up as another subject down the road. So once again, thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah.
And,
let me
Pastor,
just remind everybody, if you want to make comments on today's show, we'll get them to Pastor B. Facebook.com/2 big guys. Also, you can link to the show at godsoloved.org. And you can learn a little bit more, too, about Immanuel Lutheran Church and School, which Pastor Brommeyer and I are a part of.
Yeah, and go ahead and give them the address. And like I mentioned last time, the Sunday services are fantastic. They are Bible-based. It's not a rock and roller, holy roller type of church where you have to run around, jump up and down, hands flying. It's very, very comfortable. You don't have to bring, your whole bank account with you basically it's just a comfort. It's a very comfortable, very simple service that you get the word, which is the main key here. And I recommend, encourage anyone out there that hasn't gone through one of our services to come and enjoy it. A lot of really nice families there. And, the attendance this last week was fantastic.
Yeah, we had the school kids in singing, and very good attendance. And it was great to have the kids there singing. And that's the unique thing about Immanuel. We're not just a church. We also have a school. It's a big part of our ministry there. Immanuel is at 2913 John Moore Road. It's just north of Bloomingdale. There's a lot of churches on John Moore. South of Lumsden. If you're going south, we're the last church on the right. And the biggest church and biggest school.
And Oktoberfest, another really good
last weekend was Oktoberfest. Wow. And, of course, you hear these shows out of time, but last weekend was Oktoberfest. Great show. Hard time to find a place to park.
There was a church next door. We used their parking. And one of the best turnouts, I mean, because my kids have gone to Immanuel Lutheran School since they were in kindergarten and moving up. And I've never remembered an Oktoberfest that was really that worked out that well. So, it's a great community we're in, and we'd love to have you guys come out and get a chance to meet both the pastors here. They're really good guys to talk to. A lot of families out there are in need. They need prayer. What's really nice is if you have a loved one that's sick or not doing well, they can add them in the prayers at the end of the service. And that's just very special, And once again, thank you guys for doing the show, and we'll keep it going here on a weekly basis. Have a wonderful day.